Hey, what's up, fam? The first episode of Radiant finally dropped after what feels like an eternity for me. So I figured out about Radiance a couple of years ago. Found some of the stuff online, had a little trouble finding anything beyond like a couple first chapters, and then I find out it's only been officially released in France and Japan because it's actually it's not a Japanese manga, it's a French manga. It's an official French manga, and it actually got a official Japanese anime, which I recommend. I will mention some things. As first off, they did change some things in the anime to the manga. Some things I think were fine. Some things I definitely I feel like they should not have done at all. And just kind of starting out, obviously the kind of opening of it is different. They had this kid, uh, Tommy. I don't think he was in the manga, and I definitely didn't start out that way with him. Kind of like, hey, let me show you magic and sorceries. But let me kind of give a little bit of a explanation on Seth, on the main character. Seth is he's a kid who was infected with this kind of disease by these creatures called the Nemesis. They're kind of similar to I think that the best thing to kind of compare it to is something like Hollows, if you know if you've ever read or watched Bleach. But when these Nemesis touch a person, they will get infected, and either they will die or you will get some kind of like little form of curse, which can manifest in different ways. Seth has these little horns on his head, but I don't remember if it's because of that or later or not the exact memorying off the top of my head, that they can use magic, which in their world is the fuels this stuff called Fantasia, which is kind of like very prominent throughout the whole world. And Seth, a little bit of a spoiler, but nothing worth really like mind-boggling. Is he's much more of a kind of like free. I would say kind of like freestyle user because most people use magic through items, but he has a lot of trouble doing it through items like these gloves or tools. He usually he actually does a lot better when he doesn't wear he doesn't use any tools. He kind of just raw uses Fantasia for like normal enhancements. He's got a couple of ranged attacks and he uses different abilities. But he's somebody who tries to be something he's not in order to kind of like fit the flow of being one of these sorcerers, but he does a lot better when he kind of becomes his own person. But then he realizes that just going and free doing it his own way isn't always going to work. Sometimes you've got to kind of compromise and figure out how to do things in a way of how they're kind of supposed to be made, or even if you do it in that way, but kind of take your own steps to them. But with the episode, I would say that one of the things that I really don't like that they changed is there's a part that when Seth is trying to talk about fighting the Nemesis, that Alma tells him that without training, without proper handling and control over his abilities, then all he's doing is kind of wrecking and causing problems, and then he's no better than the Nemesis. And you could tell that kind of really gets to him. He has this kind of like moment where he's like, "That's true. Why even do it at that point if I'm causing just as much of a problem?" But kind of like following that is this large Nemesis egg like crashes into I think I can't remember what the town is called. It's like Popo Hills or something. I can't remember the exact name of it, but the place is then kind of like freaking out. Everyone in the village is like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? One of these Nemesis are finally coming to where we're at, and once Seth kind of arrives on the scene, he lands on the egg, it starts to crack. I think the Bravery Quartet actually showed up earlier in the manga, shortly earlier than in the anime. But these guys who are kind of like their own little group of spellcasters doing their own thing, trying to go around and fight Nemesis and get their own cash for it. Getting a little bit of quarrel with Seth as he's trying to do stuff. The anime though kind of cuts off right at the start of the fight with the Nemesis seeing the first Nemesis in the series, getting out exactly where the series is kind of looking for. It really has a feel of kind of conflict wise a little bit of Bleach, world wise a little bit of One Piece, and then kind of character wise a little bit of Naruto. And I know that the author I won't give anything really like big spoilers because I want people to check this out. It's really fun. but it starts out very shonen action because the author wanted it to be, give homage to the genre, because obviously he was just very honored to kind of get accepted into the shonen manga industry, the kind of the whole world of it, while being being French and doing that in France. Because a lot of people I know would probably like, oh, it's not manga because it's French, but obviously the Japanese just kind of see it as a style, and I always assumed it was much more of a style than it was that it had to be out of Japan. The series though was fun. Like I said, I won't get too many spoilers. It kind of like a lot of shonen manga. It starts out very much within the lines of the style for shonen like battle action manga, and then kind of steers away to do its own thing. I won't go into detail. All I can say is, if you're interested in this, watch a couple episodes, stay with it, and it'll not long before it kind of steers in its own direction. And I won't go too much into it, like I said, but I can't wait to see my favorite character in the series get introduced in a couple episodes. The next one, it'll probably be an extension out of the second half of the chapter that they used for this episode. It looks like they cut it off right when the fight with the Nemesis starts. So the next one should be mostly action, kind of seeing exactly kind of where Seth is good at when it comes to using Fantasia, and kind of his own style, but at the same time, some good character stuff, which I look forward to. So, tell me what you think if you watch this first episode, if you're interested or not. Like I said, I've been waiting for it to come out for a while. I actually bought the volumes in French, and I was like very slowly translating them myself. But then I found out like months and months ago, back in I think February, that the anime was announced and coming out. And you can imagine back in February when it's like, okay, wait 8 months, and the slow kind of staggering time between like that. Also, the Goblin Slayer anime came out today. Then I think the Fairy Tale next season continues today. A lot of good stuff, dropping all at once. So if you like my content, maybe check out my other videos. I do mostly manga stuff, added in obviously some more anime stuff with this. But if maybe give a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel if you aren't yet. If you are, thank you very much. But otherwise, thank you very much for listening.